runner-up in last year's World Open, and he is also a past national champion. All observers expect that he will make it into the Day of Champions, the final round. Bob's speedrun flight. Coming into the landing area, Bob Wills doing very well on time. Gets around both carousels and now heads to the target. Over that foul line. He's in good shape for a bull. Big flare. Look at him. Tries to walk into it. That doesn't work, Bob. It'll be 25-5. That moves him up amongst the leaders. Again, Greg Mitchell, defending world champion. Later in the day, he is on a giant aerial slalom flight. Two parts to this event. First, a series of 360-degree turns, then down a distance run. Lots of altitude, very flat, smooth turns. So Greg doing very well on the first part, the 360-degree turns. Now back and down that distance run. Greg has gone one too many. He went to the second distance carousel, and he is in trouble. The defending world champion is ground skimming way short of the foul line. Greg Mitchell is going to be out of it with a 0. Absolutely unbelievable. We'll be back with final round action in a moment. Sunday, the Day of Champions. Over 300 pilots entered. The top 10 remain. Tom Pagini of Newton, Massachusetts goes into the Day of Champions with 183 points. Dave Saffold and Bob Wills from California are in a three-way tie with Simon Smith of Irving, Texas for second place. Paul Courtney, Honolulu, Hawaii, third. Brian Porter is fourth. Another Honolulu pilot, Dave Vincent, made it into the final rounds, as did California pilots Trip Millinger and Curtis Kiefer, plus Oregon's Bruce Waugh. The flags wave in honor of the 11 nations that entered. Unfortunately, none of the overseas pilots made it into those final rounds, but all promised to be back next year. It's a beautiful California day at Escape Country. The crowds pour in, anticipation builds. Before today is over, a new world champion will be crowned. It's up top. Bob Wills, currently in tie for second place, wires up for his speedrun flight. Three events for the day, the first being speedrun, then giant aerial slalom, then aerial ballet. Over the gate into the first carousel for Bob, just barely gets around it. The flags wave, he'll be scored. And a good clean turn around that second carousel. Now he's ground skimming. Still has airspeed, so he'll be in good shape for his target. Here he comes over the foul line. He's in good shape. Big flare, might get a bull. No, he stumbles. That right foot. Bob will only get 25 points. He stumbles, hits the ground. That right foot goes out. We look at Tom Pagini, current leader. His speedrun flight. Tom into the landing area, gets around the first carousel, on a good line over to the second, gets around it, no penalty points, now in for the target. Here he comes. That's a big high flare. Just misses a bullseye with that right foot, but hangs on to the lead. Here's Trip Millinger, a Bennett team flyer. He's a little behind and will need a near perfect flight. On the speed run, he gets through the gate all right, flag waving. But Trip, he's passing on that first carousel. That will add 10 seconds to his score. Taking a bit of a gamble here, trying to make it up on the lower end of the run. Trip coming into the landing area, 10-second penalty. Over the foul line, he is in good shape. Big flare, here he comes and touches down. Look at it again, just missed the bull. 71 points. That'll move him right up into third place. Here's Dave Saffold, the young man from Santa Barbara. He's been flying very consistent from the start. Gets through the gate. He's been flying hang gliders for 5 years, and this is his first official competition. Doesn't lose any time between the two carousels. Now on to the landing area for a bullseye. The flight looks good. He's in good shape all the way around. Look at the flare. He does it inside. Bullseye for Dave Saffold. Here's Brian Porter. He's currently in 4th place, but his biplane is the fastest glider in the Day of Champions. Off on the Speedrun. Coming into the landing area, Porter has the best intermediate time of the meet. Look at the speed as he goes across to that second carousel. His time is excellent. If he lands anywhere within the target, he'll move up with the leaders. Here he comes. Good time. Landing gear down. He's going to wind up with 86 points. Just misses a bull, and look at the strength in this man's legs. Hangs on to it. No penalty points. Dave Saffold checks the adjustment on his harness. Second flight of the day, giant aerial slalom. Lots of altitude, finishing up his turns. First part, 360-degree turns. Gets to the second carousel on the distance run and heads for home. Comes in, he's got too much speed. He's going to have problems. High flare, a real high flare. Misses the bull off and noses it into the ground. That's going to cost him his safety points. Look at the nose, right into the ground. Trip Millinger, Brian Porter, and Dave Saffold are all moving up, and Bob Wills knows it. He'll need a good giant slalom flight to catch up. Back up on top. Bob on the giant slalom. Good altitude. He's doing well in the 360-degree turns, but only gets to that second distance marker, and he's got a problem. Bob Wills has an altitude problem. He's way on the other side of that foul line, and he's going to come up short. He'll receive a 0 for the flight and lose any hope for the world crown. That's it. An unbelieving Bob Wills just walks off the landing area.